Hello there! Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak, and today we'll be examining your primary means of identifying Pokemon.
Materials for this prop include cardboard, a 1/4-inch diameter dowel rod, duct tape, aluminum tape, cardstock, a handsaw, superglue, red acrylic paint, various color pens and markers, double stick tape, a round blue craft gem, adhesive foam squares, adhesive foam dots, scissors, an X-Acto blade, and a pen or pencil. First, draw and cut out 4 rectangles, each 3 1/4 inches by 5 inches long. Draw this design on one of the templates. Cut it out. Use this top piece to trace the pattern on a second rectangle and make the same cut. Place one top piece on a third rectangle to use as a spacer. Draw a line extending from this point down the length of the Pokedex. It should be the width of your dowel rod. Draw this pattern to the side of the line. Cut out the space for the dowel rod. Notice that the very top corner is left intact. Use an X-Acto blade to cut out the directional pad, the black button, and the 2 buttons beneath the screen. Try to keep them all intact. You'll need the pieces later. Remember to exercise caution when using an X-Acto blade. Measure your dowel rod to the space you cut earlier, remembering not to include the top 1/2 inch. Cut the dowel rod. Cut a long strip of cardstock about a 1/4 inch thick. Cut the strip in half. Using one of these templates, attach the dowel rod to the longer side with duct tape. Avoid the top and bottom inch. Using one of the strips of cardstock, wrap it around the dowel rod so the 2 ends reach onto the main body of the Pokedex. Wrap the cardstock with tape a 1/4 inch from the dowel rod. Make sure the loop is loose enough that the dowel rod can swing within the brackets. Repeat at the bottom. The dowel rod should rest on the last 1/4 inch of the main Pokedex. Tape the folding piece onto the main Pokedex. Wrap the edges of the areas you cut out earlier in aluminum tape. Superglue the piece to the Pokedex. At this point, test to make sure the flap still folds open and closed. You may also need to cut off the excess at the end of the flap piece. Wrap the Pokedex in aluminum tape. Remember to not fill in the buttonholes you created earlier, and don't cover anything that might obstruct the Pokedex's ability to open and close. Take the 2 top pieces from earlier and tape them together. Cover the entire piece in aluminum tape and superglue it in place. For extra stability, connect the edges with aluminum tape. When you close the flap, it should fit together nicely, but if it doesn't, modify it as necessary and reapply aluminum tape. And now it's time for paint. Paint the entire Pokedex red. I used a variety of methods to create the different components of the Pokedex. I encourage you to pick and choose the methods you like best. Here's my pattern for the folding piece. For the top rectangle, I drew the outline in pencil, about 2 1/4 inches by 1/2 inch. The row of blue buttons beneath it is a strip of foam adhesive cut to 2 1/4 inches by 1/2 inch. I then colored it with a light blue pen and added the grid pattern with a black pen. The top screen I colored with a black marker. I also drew in the 2 black buttons beneath the blue ones. Next I drew the 2 black boxes at the bottom, again starting with a pencil outline before using a black marker to fill them in. The yellow button above and to the right is an adhesive dot colored yellow with a marker. The 2 white buttons next to it are more adhesive foam with a black ink line down the middle. Here's my pattern for the main body of the Pokedex. The main screen is a rectangle of cardstock 2 inches by 1 1/4 inches. I cut rounded corners for 3 of the sides, but cut a sharp straight angle for the bottom left. I then taped it in place with double stick tape. The main screen is drawn in black marker and is 1 1/2 inches by 3/4 inch. I used a red marker for the 2 dots at the top and the one at the bottom left. Black pen for the lines at the bottom right. The bottom cardstock rectangle is 1 inch by 1/2 inch with rounded corners. I attached it with double stick tape and colored it with a green marker. The light at the top is a blue craft gem 1 inch in diameter. The 3 lights beside it are adhesive dots, colored from left to right, red, yellow, and green. Next, Remember those cutouts from way back that we were saving? Cut each one so that it fits into its space. Wrap the pieces in aluminum tape. Use Sharpies to color one long button blue and the other red. Color the large round button and the directional pad black. Place each piece in its respective position. If you need to increase the height within the gap, add some extra adhesive foam. The blue button goes on the right and the red on the left. As a final detail, cut a small triangle out of aluminum and place it on the outside of the wing piece. Color it yellow. And there's your finished Pokedex.
Your Pokedex will also serve as your primary means of identification during your Pokemon journey. See you next time!